our Team S.H.I.E.L.D. How many people are Team Carter? Team S.H.I.E.L.D. One guy in the front yelled "Hail Hydra." So, just one last time so we can really hear it. Team Carter. And Team S.H.I.E.L.D. You're not supposed to come out yet.
I'm not supposed to come out yet?
No, like I got a whole other thing I gotta do.
I heard my theme music. They were saying Coulson.
I understand. I'll tell you what. Is it okay if he comes back in just a little bit? I'll tell you what. If I show you some stuff for Agent Carter, can he come back in a little bit? First of all, I welcome. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that none of this happens without you. The reason why Marvel comes to New York Comic Con is because we want to say thank you. We want to say thank you for the fact that you have stayed with us from the very beginning of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I'm very proud to announce that we are currently in production on our 50th 50 episode.
Are you getting it?
And none of that happens. People all the time, when they come up to see us when we were signing, they come up all the time and they say thank you for giving us the show. And every single one of you, I just want to say back to you, no thank you. If you don't do what you do, which is watch us every Tuesday night at 9 on ABC, 8 o'clock Central, then we don't get to make more shows. So, and it's because of that, we get such incredible response, not just from this, but also from Agent Carter. And there are other people that are behind the scenes that, this show does not get done without, and they are Dan Buckley and Alan Fine, and your own homegrown guy, our Chief Creative Officer, Joe Quesada. On the production side, there are people that you don't know, but you will get to know as the years go by. Megan Thomas Bradner and Kareem Drake and Jim Corey, and just people that I work with on a day-to-day basis that are absolutely extraordinary. I just cannot thank them enough and thank you enough. And somewhere out there in the crowd is Marvel's own Jenny Whitlock, who's going to help actually pull this together. And if you give Jenny a big hand, it's extraordinary. But so towards that end, let's start the show. Jenny, what do we got? Somewhere there's a thing here that we're gonna. There we go. Look at it. Agent Carter returns this year, and we just couldn't be happier because two of our most popular and most fun characters are Peggy Carter and Edwin Jarvis. And obviously both Haley and James have returned. They are currently shooting in Los Angeles with our incredible showrunners, Tara Butters and Michelle Fazekas and Chris Dingus, who are telling an amazing story this year of how Peggy travels to California. You know what? Rather than me blah blah blah, would you guys like? There's a little something that you really ought to see here. And one of our breakout characters from last season, Bridget Gregg, returns as starting our own version of the Black Widow. Everyone's heartthrob, and certainly mine, and Gregg will be returning this year as Chief Daniel Souza in the West Coast office. You know, having grown up on some of my favorite television shows, Chad Michael Murray will be returning of the East Coast office of Jack Thompson, Chief. But that's not enough, because you demand more, and so we are announcing for the first time the rest of the cast for the season, and that's going to win Everett is joining us as a character that some of you know from the comics, Whitney Frost. A brand new character by the name of Dr. Jason Wilkes. Reggie Austin joins our cast. Curry Graham will be playing Calvin Chadwick. And a lot of you asked last year whether or not you were going to get to meet the lovely Anna Jarvis. And Edwin's beautiful, young, very fun wife. And that is played by Lottie Van Beek. And we'll be having a lot of fun with her. And speaking of fun, I wonder whether or not any of you out there have ever wondered what it's like to drive Howard Stark's car. And while I can't give away a car, what I can do is show you for the first time some exclusive footage from the very first episode of Agent Carter Season 2. So please keep an eye out for our Peggy Carter. She'll be joining ABC after we go on our winter hiatus from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And all I can tell you is same great adventure, brand new town. I have all kinds of people in Hell's Kitchen that can take care of you. Clark, we've gotten to that part of the show. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has returned for its third season. You've all been lucky enough to watch the first 2 episodes. Since we have Director Coulson with us this evening, we thought it might be fun for you guys to be able to ask a few questions about what's going to happen and see whether or not we can get the truth out of the director or whether or not it'll just be classified. I should have done this before. I apologize to my friends in security. You may recall that I give this speech. This is a lot of fun, folks. This is something that we love doing. We ask that you don't record anything that is up on the screens, because there's people that are walking around that are actual agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and they can see you in the dark, and then they're going to take your phone, and then you're going to be asking, why did you take my phone? And so I don't want to do that. So the best part about this is just enjoy it, and then afterwards tell people that it was the coolest thing in the world and they missed it. So that's where they're at. So somewhere in here is a microphone and a lit, and people are lining up. Oh, look, over there. And Jonah, as it should be, is here. And so, Jonah, ask your first question.
Hi. So I was just wondering, in the past season, we saw a lot change from season 2 to season 3. but I'm just wondering, and you probably get asked this all the time, what was your first reaction when you read that the Inhumans were going to be introduced, because since an Inhumans movie was already announced for 2019?
Yeah, sure.
First of all, it's a damn good question, Jonah. My reaction was, am I going to be Black Bolt? See, that's the kind of joke you can only tell at a con! Because I have a dog with an antenna. Silly, not just being silly. I guess the short way to say it, as I have learned in my time in California, they say it is I was stoked. Because the Inhumans represent humans who contain within them, without their knowledge, the ability to evolve quite suddenly into something very different. And suddenly these people who, through no choice of their own, are very different than many of us. And they're considered weird or wrong in some ways, and some people want to legislate or militarily eradicate those people, and other people think, well, this is exciting. Suddenly some of us are different. Maybe that's an exciting development in who we're meant to be as a species. And that seems topical to me. Anyone who's ever felt like a nerd or an outsider, that feels very topical. So I love when the comics get very topical like that. I also thought, well, there's probably going to be some really cool, enhanced individuals on our show. So I was geeking out on a deeper level and also just on a geeky level. And so far already in the first couple of episodes, including the one that we haven't seen yet, you see stuff that's kind of mind-blowing. I love that we started this show by introducing you in a kind of scary way. People were a little not sure they were into it at first. Oh, our main team that Coulson put together is this kind of wiry Scottish dude who's hard to understand. And a biotech English person who's got a different accent, also sometimes a little hard to understand. And oh, here's a hacker we're trying to catch, but Coulson wants to make her a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. And that was the people that you met. And Grant Ward, another complex, amazing individual performance. So we had to build that world of brand new characters in the Marvel Universe, which you don't see happen very often. And now people are as likely to come up and ask a brilliant question like yours, Jonah, as they are to ask me, is Fitz okay? Where the hell is Simmons? And did I really just see her riding a spice worm in that? Sorry, I'm sorry. So it's very exciting for us to be able to do that now. And thank you.
Thanks.
I guess over here.
Hi. So my question is, out of all the characters on the show, who do you think it would be the most interesting to be revealed to be an Inhuman?
That's a good question for Jeph.
I think you got to stay tuned. I think, don't start with me. Here's a better, I think a better answer for that question, which is whether or not they're Inhuman or not Inhuman. I do want to say that if there's anybody in this house that watched the opening episode, man, woman, child, alien, and when Ian, at the very end, Fitz is banging on the monolith and screaming, if you didn't bring a tear to your eye, you got to have yourself checked. And I think that really what's important about the season is that we're going to be exploring in humanity in a way that we look at Inhumans and man's sort of way that we deal with people that are different. And so the nice part about it is we don't know yet who or what any one of our team is. And that's an exciting thing for you guys to be able to catch as we go through the entire season. So over here, yes, this gentleman here.
Yes, will the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ever run into mutants? And where's Lola?
But let's stay with the Lola part of the question. I think we have our hands full with Inhumans.
No, I can answer the mutants part. We'd like to talk to some mutants, but they are in a terrifying realm. I mean, I kind of grew up on New York subways reading comics that involved mutants, but they're in this terrifying zone called the copyright zone. And someday we will all live in a peaceful world where all the fandoms can interact.
Those would be the views expressed solely on behalf of our dear friend, Clark Gregg.
So the Deadpool crossover is not going to happen this season?
Only here at Comic-Con when they're all running around. Do we have... My question is we may get there. I think we have another question.
Yes. Hi, I'm Stephanie from Los Angeles.
Hi, Stephanie. You came all the way from Los Angeles to New York Comic Con?
I did come all
We like
the way.
that.
Big fan. I was wondering if there's any chance we can possibly see some new footage of S.H.I.E.L.D.
We haven't shot anything.
You do understand that we make this show about an hour before it actually goes on the air. And have you seen our effects? No, Clark, you do this to me every time. No, Clark, I'll tell you what, we can show a clip, okay? All right, we will show a 43-minute clip. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time anywhere on the planet Earth or any other planet, you are going to see episode 303, which will air next Tuesday night.